Scott, thanks for joining us. We're back at home this weekend as we welcome Swindon to the Royal Stadium. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
Two teams needing the win for two different reasons. I think ours is obvious. We've got to win games of football to get ourselves out of the position we're in, and they're of course looking to pick up points to put themselves in an automatic spot, I suppose. So, like I say, two teams going for it for two different reasons, but we just have to focus really heavily on ourselves, which we have done all week. We've had a brilliant week of training. And yeah, I'm really excited to see the team perform tomorrow.
Yeah, we spoke after the game last Saturday, and you said that it was probably a good thing that we had a full week on the training pitch to sort of sort things out and work on ourselves. You've been pleased, as you say, with how the players have adapted themselves this week.
Yeah, we've had some really good meetings and good conversations and good training sessions and tweaked a few things, and it looks good. But the proof is obviously in performance of a game, and it's no point having a week on the training pitch where we look amazing and then go play on a Saturday and don't look amazing. We've got to make sure that we transfer that tomorrow, and all focus is on that. But like I say, I think that we know where we are, we know what we've got to do, and tomorrow is another opportunity for us to do that, or at least make strides forward in doing that. So we're really focused on this game. And I feel the players are really focused. I think there's been a shift in mentality this week, which I've been really pleased with. And the players were hurting after last weekend's game, and there was some really good conversations after the game, and some honest home truths being told, which was needed. And every single player is focused now, and we know what we've got to do.
Yeah, as you say, some home truths. And I don't know if you watched Dion Pereira's post-match interview from after the Oldham game. He gave a few of his own, but in a positive way. He said that there had been some real honest conversations in the dressing room after that Oldham performance. Has that carried on into this week? Are the players, talking amongst themselves and almost knowing themselves what they need to do to improve?
Yeah, I think Dion's been a brilliant vehicle to carry a really good message. Actually, he's been amazing in the dressing room. Certainly after the game, he was very vocal and told some untruths himself, and I really like that. And I think that he's been good when he's come on the pitch as well. So he certainly puts himself in the shop window for team selection, and I've been impressed with his attitude, and I've been impressed with the reaction of all the players this week. I think every single player's reacted in a real positive way. In a bad situation, and I can only take heart from that, and feel that we're prepared for this game based on what I've seen. Of course, it's always looks different sometimes on a Saturday, but we want it to look like it's looked all week, and we want it to feel like it's felt all week. And like I say, we know what we've got to achieve. We know what we've got to do in order for us to get safe. But it's now time for action, not just talking. We talk about it, we practice it. We've got to go and do it, and that's so important. And I believe that everybody in the building's so focused on this Saturday, so focused that we can't wait for kick-off to come round.
Yeah, we've had some big occasions at this ground, obviously, at both ends of the table. We've had times where we've needed to secure a point against Walsall a few seasons ago to keep our status in the Football League. We've had times where, we've needed to beat Grimsby on final day to make the playoffs. We've had it at both ends, but the sort of common theme in that has been the energy in the stadium and how it's been such a hard place for those away teams to come and play. How important is it that the fans are, able to sort of replicate those, energies when we approach these games? Because we're probably not at that do or die stage yet, like those games were. But every game here is going to feel like a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it's important. But I think that we can only give the fans energy by playing so well on the pitch, and we haven't done that well enough over the season. We haven't, and I'll be the first to stand up and be counted, and I don't mind having the finger pointed at me. I'm the manager, and this is my group of players, and we haven't done well enough. But we got to be better on the pitch. End of the day, as a football manager or football player, the job is to win games of football, and we haven't won nowhere near enough. So yeah, we want the fans to have energy to help us in that quest, but we've got to give them something to cheer about, and we have not done that well enough this season, like I say. But I'm hoping that we see a team, really run for the badge and really try every effort to get what we need to get from this game. And I think sometimes you can sometimes actually win games through just will, determination, and hard work, of course. And you can also lose games well. And what I mean by that is, if you lose a game but you put everything into it, the fans can see that. And sometimes the fans go away happy with a performance that the players have put such a shift in. And sometimes you can't win every game because it's such a low scoring sport. There's fine margins always. There's the officials to always worry about, whether we get the right swing on some decisions and stuff like that, not making excuses. But the reality is we haven't done well enough, and we got to make sure that we show the fans that we are willing to go to war on Saturday. And that's kind of what the message has been all this week, that we have to look different, we have to feel different, we have to look like we're because I know the players care. I do know they care, but then show it, really show it with desire, passion, graft. The fans have got to see us grafting on that pitch. And we having some games and we haven't in others, and that ain't acceptable. And I'm certainly cracking the whip and making sure that we do look like we're having a go against a good side. They're a good side. Ollie's got them, at the top end of the table pretty much all season, and like I say, they'll be going for an automatic spot, I'm sure. So we know it's going to be a tough game. We're not 100% sure on kind of what they'll do in terms of shape. Last game we played them at their place, I think they changed shape about 5 times within the game. So it's really kind of difficult to gauge that. But that has helped me more so this week, based on the fact that I've really focused on us and what we have to do. So like I say, I'm really excited for kick-off, and I'm sure you're going to see a team putting every ounce of effort in.
You mentioned that game against Swindon last time and losing games well. I feel like that was one of the best examples of that. Is that something you've used for added motivation this week? The fact you had some missed chances in that game and it could have been a different score on a different day.
Yeah, we've mentioned it. I've kind of not lent on it too much because it's a different game now, but we have spoke about that, and we felt that we were really good in that game, and probably deserved a lot more than we got from it. But like I say, it's a different game now. We're further down the line than we was. We're 11 games to go, and we've got to win a big chunk of them. So we're now in a different position than we was. We've got to take this game in isolation now and forget what's happened in the past, and even forget about what's going to happen in the future. We just got to really focus on Saturday.
Yeah, and it feels like the injury list has mounted up a bit again in recent weeks. Is there anyone that might be back on Saturday?
Let me think. Scott Malone comes into the squad. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it.
And after the Oldham game, like you said about having to get the boys back up again, and you wanted to see them play with the handbrake off, what do you want that to look like tomorrow?
I want to see a team who are willing to run harder than the opposition, are fully engaged in the game, are prepared to go above and beyond to win this game. You can't always predict what the score will be, like I say, because it's a fine line. There's always fine lines in football, and it's a small scoring sport, and the margins are so small, and the officials can make decisions that go against. But I just want to see a team that are really. I want to see the fans see the team really work hard and put every ounce of effort in to win this game. That's the main thing for me. And I look back at the Oldham game. I saw a team almost like bamboozled in that first 20 minutes, where they just ran all over us, and they could have scored 3 or 4 goals in that first 20 minutes. We have to be like that. Do you know what I mean? We have to be like Oldham was against us. We have to be present. We have to be aggressive in our movements, our running. We've got to chase. We've got to press. We've got to run back. We've got to run forward. We've got to want the ball. We can't have no passengers. We can't have anybody thinking, "Oh, I don't want to get on the ball." No, we've got to get on the ball. We've got to be aggressive. We've got to be pragmatic with our play. It's not all about making a gazillion passes at the back. Can we play forward quickly? Can we get in there after the pitch? Can we own the game? Can we be in charge? And that's what I want from my team. And looking at the individuals that are playing in the team, we're more than capable of winning this game and winning it with conviction, and that's what I want.
And just away from the game on Saturday, on a wider note, the Championship announced yesterday that they were going to expand the playoff places from 4 to 6. Do you have a view on that in terms of leagues below the Championship? Is that something you'd like to see implemented across the board?
Good question. I've not really thought about it before. No, probably not. I like the traditional way, I think. But maybe when I leave this room and think about it, I might come back and say, yeah, quite like it. But no, I think how it is okay, I think.
Fair enough. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.